45. Brown, 45. Hot, 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 hot.
You are listening to Any Given Sunday, Australia.
Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the number one podcast in at least 3 households, 1 studio, American Australia, Football Australia head office. Jesus, I fucked that one up. NFL Australia head office, worldwide. Danny boy in your grandest of Western wings. Joining us as always, Danny Webb at Danny Webb AGSAU. How are you, mate? I've thrown myself a little bit. How are you?
Man, that was like one of the worst intros you've done. That's great. I love this. What a start to the show. 30 seconds in and you drop the F-bomb as well.
Yeah, I know. That's good, isn't it? That's when you know it's going to be a bloody good show.
And we all know this show's not for kids. Let's be real.
I do push a button. Not safe for kids. It's up to them. Parents, it's on you.
Double push it. Push it twice this time.
Yeah. How are you, mate? All good?
Mate, kicking goals as always.
Beautiful. Off the top, we're going to cover a game which was played Tuesday, our time. A bit more of an interesting game than I probably gave it credit for. It came down to a bit closer margin than I was expecting. The Steelers getting the job done against the Giants, 26-18. Not as convincing of a win as what we kind of thought, mate.
Oh, absolutely not. The first half as well, they just exchanged field goals. It was back to back. I think both kickers went 3 from 3. Neither of the teams really finding the end zone. And then Calvin Austin just turned the game around, didn't he? A 73-yard punt return for a touchdown. And he caught it on the right side of the field, ran all the way to the left and had every single defender jumping at him. It was great. Great to see him get in the end zone. But that wasn't the only time, sorry. He got in a second time with a little 29-yard catch over the shoulder to give the Steelers the boost that they needed because the Giants were putting up a bit of a fight. And watching this game, you were almost thinking that, are the Giants actually going to get this done?
Old Jonesy putting it up there and actually having a bit of a fight. We did come in and said, bet the unders for the rushing. The Giants absolutely annihilated the best rushing defense in the league, which was unreal to watch.
Yeah, I think one of them came off old TT getting a massive rush and then for a touchdown. I can't remember the yards off the top of my head, but it was big. It was big. And it was good to see. But if you were listening to last week's episode, not that we put it up on our socials, but I did say, take the Steelers at the line and bet the overs, and both of those got up. So
yeah, our betting, we should mention, I know we've been harping on it a little bit lately, but we're trying to change the trend. We want people to win money. So we went 2 or 4 with our betting, but we still broke even. So if you just put that on as a normal multi, you lose your money, money's gone. Where we put on the multi and then every leg individually, we broke even. We're still ahead. We're still ahead 20 units.
Yeah, we're absolutely laughing. If you actually had chucked on those 2 that I said, despite the fact you and I, neither of us did it, which we should have, we would have actually gone 4 from 6, which is anytime you're in a winning percentage is all that really matters at the end of the day. But the Steelers have actually won 22 straight home games on Monday Night Football. That is a wild stat. They're just not losing at home on Monday nights. And they've had some interesting teams over the last little bit. And still getting the job done.
Their third straight win as they head into the bye. And they're keeping the AFC North very interesting.
For sure. Absolutely. So they're 1 game ahead now of Baltimore. And I would have tipped Baltimore as almost a clear favourite heading into at the start of the season to take this one out. But yeah, they're going to keep it nice and tight. It'll be interesting to see a little Steelers-Ravens battle.
Yeah, I think we said the other day that the Ravens, the last couple of weeks, everyone would have said the Ravens are Super Bowl or bust. But the Steelers, they're going to have another winning season, which that's 19 or 20 in a row now. It's something bullshit. But yeah, I like the AFC North just as strong as the NFC North, mate. It's the North all the way this year. So, some news that has just come out, the last couple of days, and it's pretty standard. The Patriots have traded defensive back Josh. I'm going to say Urche. Are we going with it?
Sure, mate.
You're our linguist.
Oh, I'm the mumbler of the group. That's for sure. Yeah. Let's go with it's either Urche or Urch.
Yeah. Let's go with Urch. I like Urch. They've traded him to the Chiefs. So standard Chiefs have obviously found themselves a deficient spot. They have not very many. And he's going to fill a hole. He's come back this year. He's got 13 tackles, solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles, and 2 sacks. So not a bad little addition just to help Chris Jones on the defensive side. But why this is important for us? It kind of opens up a hole. We've got an Australian over there, Jotham Russell, who we've had on the show, friend of the show. Leaves a little bit of a gap that he could be elevated possibly and get some game time in doesn't say New York. It is New York, but New England. No, it's Boston. Damn, it's Boston. Fuck.
Boston.
Close.
Mate, you are having a shocker.
Yeah, I know.
What did you do today? You catch
I need
too
a drink.
much sun?
Need a drink of water.
No, it would be great to see Jotham Russell. Oh, now you've got me. It's contagious. Would be great to see him get elevated and get some game time because all we love more on the show. There's nothing more we love on the show than Aussies doing well and Aussies doing well in the NFL. So hopefully this means potentially he might be actually getting some game time, and it'll be good to see him to get some stats on the board. That's for sure.
Yeah, I won't flex, but I might hit him up and ask him, is there any chance, and we'll have a answer by the next show. You mentioned the other day, a bit of a flex there. You mentioned the other day, we're going to do the awards halfway through the season pretty much. It's a combination of who we think should win it now compared to who we think is going to win at the end of the season. It's pretty much going to be the same thing, the way they're tracking. We do have a couple that are pretty well sewn up already, if we don't agree. We've both agreed that, a couple of them are paying like, say $1.15, $1.20 already?
Yeah, the offensive rookie and defensive rookie of the year, I think they're paying like $1.20 and $1.36 respectively.
Yeah, so pretty well already done. So offensive rookie of the year, no surprise, especially after the last weekend's game. He's your love child at the moment, Jaden Daniels, mate. He's going to absolutely romp this one home.
Absolutely, he's taking this one out hands down. And imagine having a love child in your own division.
Yeah,
now, see, that is a podcaster that is non-biased. Maybe take some notes.
Yeah, you're right. We'll see who I've picked in later things to see who's not biased. And the defensive rookie, Big Jared Verse, has had a very solid start to the season, and it looks like he's pretty well home too.
Yeah, both of those have come out, probably exceeded expectations, especially Jaden Daniels, because, if everyone thought he was going to be as good as this, despite some of us picking it early on, a lot of people didn't and thought Caleb Williams was going to be the one, but Jaden Daniels has just gone out there and proves that he's mature beyond his years. He is carrying this team, which, we probably didn't even think they were going to get. We definitely didn't think they were going to get 6 wins by this point in the season. So he is carrying this team further places than we ever thought. And he's a rookie.
And he's
got
a
to
rookie.
give it to him.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's sewn up. Don't even worry about putting it on there. I think the $1.15 is probably not worth it at the end of the day. I think Williams is second. He's like $13. So it's home and hosed. All right, some that are a little bit different. Offensive player of the year. I've gone with Derrick Henry so far. I think the way he's slotted into the Ravens offense, nearly 1,000 yards already, nearly 10. He's had 11 total touchdowns, 2 in the air as well as the 9 breaking the plane on the ground. So Derrick Henry is mine for offensive player of the year, I reckon.
Yeah, and I've actually gone with a new running back coming to a team as well, and I've had to go with Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
that is a little bit of a homer for me, but his combined yards, both on the ground and in the air, he is dominant every week. Yes, he's not getting as many touchdowns as Derrick Henry, but I've gone for almost like a little prediction. Moving forward, I feel like he's only going up, and he's getting close to breaking his own records that he set way back when he was a rookie for the Giants. So it's hard to punt against him despite him being on my own team. I said I was non-biased before. Let me just eat those words because obviously I've gone fully backwards on myself. But yeah, fly Eagles fly, baby.
Don't worry, I'll bring that back up. Let's go with defensive player of the year. You start because yours is a little bit more obvious than mine.
Yeah, I've gone for the big man TJ Watt, who's absolutely holding up the Steelers defense and keeping them in games, especially early on when, you had Justin Fields slinging the ball and we're a little bit unsure of how that was really going to turn out. The defense really held it in for the Steelers and have allowed them to be as competitive as they are. Plus, Darcy is an absolute beast. Like, Sack City, just dominant. Like, anytime any quarterback's facing up against him, they're shaking their boots. Like, that is a nervous person to face up against. So, got to give it to him. Got to give it to the big Watt man.
Despite the fact that I picked TJ Watt when you were saying Aiden Hutchinson, I've gone a little bit different. I've gone Xavier McKinney. And now this is obviously me being a little bit of a homer because he is a Green Bay Packer. But he's had 26 solo tackles as a safety. He's had 6 interceptions. Now, this is my leading stat, all right? 6 interceptions, which is equal to or better than 21 other teams. Not other players, 21 other teams. So he has 6 by himself, which is by far the most by any player. And 2 games, he didn't get an interception, but he did not have a ball thrown in his direction. That's how much he's getting respect now, having 6 out of 8 games. They weren't even throwing the ball near him, so he had no chance of getting those 2 games. So a little bit of an outsider. I reckon he's paying about $15, $16. TJ Watt's, by far favourite. So just a little one maybe out there. I don't think safeties and cornerbacks get enough attention in Defensive Player of the Year. Everyone loves big sack cities like yourself. So nice one. Go Pack, go. So have to get one in there. I don't have any others in there as Packers. So I didn't go Jordan Love for MVP, so people can already say that one. But Comeback Player of the Year. 2 very different ones we've gone for. You don't exactly love this award.
No,
and I don't. Yeah, you tell us why. Why don't you love
I
this
don't love this award because generally, and this is what I've picked as well. So not only do I not love this award, I've bought into what this award's all about. Generally, they just pick a star player who went down injured in the previous year, sat out at least half the year, if not the whole year, and then came back and went back to their normal form. To me, that's not really that exciting of an award. It's doing what these players are getting paid millions of dollars to do with the best rehab and best facilities in the world. So I've gone with Kirk Cousins. Our big man, Kirk O'Chains, went down with his Achilles last year when he was finishing off at the Vikings. Then, we all know he signed with the Falcons. It's taken them up to 5-3. Been absolutely dominant. Had what was it, a 400, 500 yard passing game? Yeah,
only 500 yard passing game this season.
Yeah, against Tampa Bay, I think he's actually he's better than he was at the start of last season when he was playing for the Vikings. So that's why, I'm going to give him my favourite award of the year. Comeback player.
He needs something. A little stat about Kirk Cousins. The only player to ever have 3 500-yard passing games for 3 different teams. Do you know that one?
You like that?
Yeah, that was the first one. That was the first one. You're straight over it. I've gone for, and this is showing my non-bias, Sam Darnold. This is kind of the one who's been a backup, the perennial non-starter, gone to a different team. The Vikings are sitting 5-2. They were 5-0, looking unbeatable at some point. I reckon they're on the bit of a slide, but that's fine. These things happen. Happen to good people, like myself. So, yeah, Sam Darnold coming out. No one expected this for him. So that's the reason I've gone for Sam Darnold as the Comeback Player of the Year. Coach of the Year.
I actually love that because that's the way, to me, the award should be awarded because it's someone who was almost out of the league, down, backup quarterbacks, doing whatever, just doing anything he can to get a game. And then when he actually comes in, starts, dominates. Similar like what Geno Smith did.
I was about to say, Geno Smith's the last one that comes to mind as that kind of player.
Yeah. So that's what this award should be. And then it would make sense. Then I'd actually like it as an award because it's giving people credit for having grit and grind and never giving up on yourself.
Yeah. I think he was the number 2 or number 3 pick. Obviously shit the bed, has come back. Comeback Player of the Year.
Oh my God, they should name an award after that.
Oh my God. Coach of the Year. Mine, little bit, goes with the Offensive Rookie of the Year, Dan Quinn. You have the same opinion.
I am completely on board. Which, bias hat on, bias hat off, bias hat on, bias hat off. How can you not? He has taken this team, which, including us, and everyone was speaking about prior to coming into this season, that they weren't really going to go anywhere and weren't really going to go far. The same reason why the Offensive Rookie deserves the award. He's only getting there because of his coach as well. Yeah, he has incredible coaching staff, both the offensive coordinator, but most importantly, Dan Quinn, who's got him to this point when everyone was kind of counting the Commanders out. Yes, they got bought out by the Harris group, and we're all heading the right direction. But I was like, let's give them 1, 2, potentially 3 years before they actually get their shit together. Well, they got their shit together.
8 weeks. Give them 8 weeks.
They got their shit together in 8 weeks, and it's. I think that one's also sewn up. Just give it to him.
Yeah, I agree. That one's we definitely agreed. Anyone who gets the Commanders to a 6-2 record, you're definitely up there for Coach of the Year. MVP, the final, the big one. We have a little bit different, and I reckon mine's a little bit more controversial. So I want you to go first because I have a big spiel ready to go as to why my one is going to win and should win the MVP.
Yeah. So first, honourable mention to Josh Allen because he is doing some pretty dominant things. I didn't pick him. Sorry, Charlie. Also, Charlie, when are you coming back on? It's about time. I haven't gone with Josh Allen only because in the games that they've lost, he kind of hasn't really been on MVP form. And I think an MVP player should at least be competitive in the games that they're losing. So I've gone with Jared Goff. He has the Lions leading the NFC North, which some would say is the most dominant division in the league at the moment.
A lot of people would.
And he's 6-1. Not only when he was 6-1, he also took down the undefeated Vikings, which everyone's like, well, this is going to be the big test. And he just got it done. And his previous game when they blew out the Titans didn't necessarily have the most flashiest stats. But prior to that, I think he's had multiple first halves where he hasn't had an incomplete pass. He's has a 100% completion rate in majority of his first halves this season. And I think he only ends up dropping like 1 or 2. The man is so switched on and so dialed in. And he's going to take these Lions pretty damn far.
Just to back you up a little bit there, he also seems to curse every single team that he plays. After they play Jared Goff, they go to water and they lose the next week. I was trying who lost this week that they played?
Titans.
No.
Oh, Jets.
Cowboys came out, lost. So the streak continues. Whoever's playing the Titans next week, probably safe money to be betting on them anyway. But not a bad little one there, Jared Goff. You have shown a little bit of Jared Goff love through the year, though. Yeah,
you got to give it to him. And I'm just I do like Detroit Lions. I reckon they're the best team in the division.
They're actually the best team in the conference. So, we have a special guest that wants to come in there, and he's got a bit of a outrageous one. He thinks Aaron Rodgers, old school Aaron Rodgers, he's got the greatest ever Packer receiver, Jordy Nelson, on. Do you reckon Aaron Rodgers should win the MVP? Yeah, no, he shouldn't, mate.
Why?
maybe comeback player of the year, but even then, that's a push.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, not yet. Maybe Jordan Love. We'll say Jordan Love, yeah?
Okay.
All right, we've got Jordan Love in there, so that's good. Now go to bed. My one is a little bit controversial. Oh, it's not controversial. I have a big spiel ready to go. Derrick Henry, MVP. He's averaging, let's just go through some of his stats, 118.2 yards rushing per game. He's already had 11 total TDs, 9 on the ground, 2 in the air. The last QB running back to win, 2012, Adrian Peterson. He had just over 2,000 rushing yards. Henry on track, just over 2,000 rushing yards. He had 12 rushing TDs. Henry's already had 9. So he's on track for 19, nearly 20. And Peterson he had 1 receiving touchdown, where Henry's already had 2, on track for 4, looking good for 23, 24 total touchdowns. Huge. Last year, everyone had CMC in the running for MVP. Yeah, would you say that he was up there for MVP?
Honestly, I would have given it to him.
There personally. You go. Last year, he had 1,459 rushing yards. So nowhere near 2,000. 14 touchdowns on the ground. He did have 500 in the air and another 7 on the ground. So we end up with 21 touchdowns, but only 2,000 combined yards. Henry's on track for 24 touchdowns and 2,400 combined yards. And a little thing that you've just sent me, as I've seen, and you've put money on it now, which I love it. I've convinced you, obviously. He's paying $81.
I couldn't not line it up. I'm reading it in the doc. I'm listening to you talk. I'm fully bought in and just jumped on it live on the pod. $81. How can you not? Like, just have a little sniff. Just have a little sniff because exactly what you're saying. If everyone, well, not everyone, a lot of people were on board for CMC last year, and then you didn't get it. So do the voters then go, hey, is it about time we give it to a running back when
it's been 12 years?
When I wouldn't say any of the quarterbacks are absolute standouts to take this award. So why not? Why not give it to a running back?
I think 2,000 rushing yards and 20 touchdowns. Mate, how can you not give it to him? LaDainian Tomlinson was the last one who's done that. Didn't have 2,000 rushing yards, did have less games, but he had 28 total touchdowns. That kind of pushed him up that next level. So I reckon Derrick Henry, if he keeps on pace, look out.
Mate, it's juicy. Juicy at $81. You just give it a little sprinkle.
Just a sprinkle. Mate, if you're not a big better, put $1 on you. Still make $81.
Yeah.
Huge. Then you got 81 bets.
$1 units, baby.
Ooh, love it. All right, we've got a few massive games. Let's get into the games this week. A few huge games. We have to mention some of them that are they're juicy to look at. We haven't gone over them though, but keep your eyes peeled. Dolphins at Bills, Cowboys at Falcons, Bears at Cardinals, Rams at Seahawks. The Monday night game is the Bucks at Chiefs, and you've put in there Eagles rocking the Kelly Green versus Jacksonville at home. I didn't put it in there because you should smash Jacksonville unless they play like they did in the Packers, but they should smash them. I was going to say, is there any game that stands out for you out of those ones? But it sounds like the Kelly Greens got you over the line.
I just love that uniform. I really should get a jersey so I can hang it up next to Hurts back there. But yeah, the Kelly Green, it's just such a good uniform. How can you not love it? And I don't know if we've ever lost in it, so it's probably why we're chucking it on when we're playing Jacksonville. I said ever lost since we've brought it back.
Yes, I was going to say, you did play in it for a few years. I don't think you went undefeated.
No. Like, since it's come back as like a vintage jersey.
Yeah. Out of those games, I think the Dolphins-Bills, now Tua's had a week under his belt, could be a bit of an upset, even though it is in Buffalo and they don't like the cold and it's starting to, cool down a little bit. So definitely one to keep your eye on there. The two games we have picked, though, the Friday night or the Thursday night game, Friday morning for us, 6-2 Texans at the 2-6 Jets. I picked this game because it appeals to me so much. The Jets are favourites. They've given them a 1.5 point favourite, which blows my mind a bit. The only thing I can really think of is Stephon Diggs did go down non-contact knee injury during the game and is expected not to play. Like 51% of people are actually on the Texans at $2.07, which makes sense to me because I don't understand why the Jets are favourites.
I would also like to jump on the Texans, and I'm going to jump on them with my Any Given Sunday Bet of the Week.
Oh, there we go.
Because you got to love the Texans as underdogs going in. Yes, okay, you might not have Diggs, but the Jets just aren't there. They're just not there this year. They're doing everything they can, firing coaches, picking up star wide receivers, doing whatever they can. But they're just not doing it. They're not doing it at home. They're not doing it away. I don't really have faith in this team. There's obviously some form of toxicity, maybe in the locker room, whatever's going on. It's just not working for them. And I will not put any money on Jets, no matter who they're playing, for the rest of the year. Oof. So I'm taking the Texans.
I love the Chiefs. So we've got to pick them till they give us a reason not to pick them. The Jets, we're not picking them until they give us a reason to pick them.
I reckon even if they're playing the Panthers, which I don't think they are this year, that would be the only time it's a flip of a coin.
Yeah. We did say, I think last week when it was a must-win game, we kind of gave them the win against New England and said this Texans game is going to be one of the tougher ones. They lost to New England, so this Texans game is definitely going to be a tough one. 6-2 and underdogs. I can't really understand why, especially when I read that the Jets have 17 players on the injury report. Not unusual, I don't think. They've just kind of chucked everyone on there. Rodgers is on there with a sore hammy. He's 47 years old. That's probably why. No one really on there to get worried about. They've just kind of listed everyone, given them a reason not to practice. So I reckon that's purely because it's a Thursday night game. Rodgers has come out 600 times and said he hates the Thursday night, especially the quick turnaround. So don't look into the 17 players listed on the injury report too much. But the fact that they've still got 17 players on there and their favourite blows my mind. So I am jumping on the Texans as well, especially if they're going to give us 1.5, even better.
You got to take it, man. Take them at $2.07, take them at the line, do whatever you got to do. But I reckon Texans are going to get the job done.
And another point before I move on to the next game, Stephon Diggs being out, they didn't have him last year, and they played pretty fucking well.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs being out is not my biggest concern. He's played well, don't get me wrong, this year, but I feel like the Texans have enough to get it done.
It was Nico Collins done a hammy, didn't he?
Yeah, Nico Collins pulled
Still
up.
out.
Yeah, still
So
out.
that one, I think that's a bigger loss, the fact that he's still out. So maybe, yeah. But I still think the Texans will get the job done.
Yeah, so Diggs is still only currently listed as questionable, and then behind him you got Robert Woods, and then you got Tank Dell still in there, and John Mechie III.
Yeah, he's quick. He's very quick. Yeah, so we're both on the Texans there to go 7-2 and nearly lock up their division. The other game, I just couldn't help myself. The 6-1 Lions at the 6-2 Packers. The Lions actually 3.5-point favourites. Understandable. Jordan Love is still day-to-day with his groin injury. It has come out that it said, and I'm taking your job, Dr. Danny, but this was important for me to know, that it's not as bad as first thought, but he will be a game day decision as to when he is going to play. So I have heard there's not going to be multiple weeks if he does miss a game at all. 62% of people, and we have just found out that if over 60% is normally correct, are on the lines at $1.58.
Yeah, and I'm going to join him. Give me MVP Goff taking down your Packers. Yes, it's at Lambeau Field, which always makes it tougher. But luckily, we're not into the super cold parts of the month. But they come from Detroit anyway. They're used to it.
Yeah, but they play in a dome, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but it's cold up there in Michigan.
Playing a dome, you're a bit soft, I think.
Oh man, that Homer hat must be getting really heavy.
It's getting tight.
No, I think the Lions have the momentum and motivation moving forward. The Jordan Love being a little bit banged up, obviously you're always going to have a little bit of a question, but you barely got the job done against Jacksonville last week.
On fire, Jacksonville, let's just say that.
Jacksonville are knocking on the door of the worst team of the league, and they're knocking on the Panthers' door, and the Panthers are saying to fuck off because, don't worry, we got this.
Man.
So the fact that it was such a tough game was probably why they're getting that 3.5-point line, where the Lions have gone up against tough teams and beaten them. I think that's probably the difference.
They did put 50 on the Titans.
Yeah, absolutely dumped on them. Put 50 on the Titans, and Goff essentially had the game off, threw for 81 yards and just chill. So you're going in fresh legs against a QB that's coming for groin injury. It's a 50-50. Yes, Malik Willis played very, very well, and we can't not talk about that. But I don't want to, so give me the Lions.
I'll talk about it, don't stress. Even if Love does miss, I do think Malik Willis knows what he can do, and will rely on the players that he's comfortable with. Josh Jacobs has been in absolutely ripping form. I think the Aiden Hutchinson injury is really going to hurt them this week. So the only problem I do think, Jair Alexander hasn't been 100%, and he's listed as questionable again. So him missing, Amon-Ra St. Brown, could get off the leash a little bit. I reckon he'll probably line up a little bit more inside as well, near Xavier McKinney, and no one's throwing near him. So I'd probably go Amon-Ra's unders if I was anyone else. But yeah, I don't know. I think being a divisional game, I'll probably take the Packers 3.5. It's always tight. Doesn't matter when they were last and we were first. It didn't matter. It was still a tight game. I do like the Lions. They are a fucking good side. So maybe Packers at the line, but Lions for the win. It'll be a very juicy one. It'll be a very juicy one. But I'm backing my Packers 100%. But anyone want to throw a little on that? That'll be paying quite a few dollars, I think. Yeah, but it'll be a tight game. I can tell you that for free.
Yeah, I think so. And I wouldn't I don't know what the overs are, but I probably wouldn't be looking to smash that realistically. It's probably going to be a tighter game than most people think.
Yeah, in Green Bay, it's that is a great point. Good one to finish on. I know we have mentioned that I won the Any Given Sunday bet, isn't it? So it's 3-4.
Yeah,
and you've gone pretty safe going with the Texans. Just want to maintain that lead. I like it. Big news this week though. So good one to finish. This Friday game will be 11:15 or something Eastern Daylight Time. I don't know what happens, but their time changes. So from next week, they're 5 a.m. games, 8:25 games, and then midday games. So, so everything moves back another hour. So if you're happy to get up at 3 a.m., you've just been rewarded. It's now 5 a.m.
How good for football and for football fans and for people not being tired at work. Because, although if you start early, it potentially could be worse. Potentially could be worse for you. Depends on what job you do.
Yeah. So 8:25 is this Packers game. Nice. Not too early. You can have a little bit of a sleep in.
What a treat. A treat. I like the 8:25. It's a more friendly watching time.
Yeah, the only problem is the 12 o'clock game doesn't finish till like 3:30, 4 o'clock. Can be hard.
Yeah, that's a game I'm probably going to watch in 40. Let's be real.
Yeah, fair enough.
And you can do that. You can do that via Danzen, and you can find our code on our LinkedIn.
Correct.
LinkedIn? Linktree.
Linktree, even. LinkedIn if you want.
Hey, come find us on LinkedIn as well if you want to chat, or if you want to throw some money at us. That works too.
Correct. Watch our socials for our bets, or jump on the Sports Bets feed. Love your work, Danny, and go Pack. Oh, you have something to say? Go.
Sorry to end. I
was going to finish with a Go Pack Go
ending there. That would have been perfect. The little go Pack Go. No, I was just going to say if you guys have any picks out there of your awards, drop them. Drop your picks at any of our socials. We'll get around you. We'll comment back and we'll pick it apart. Say why our picks are better than yours. But that's just generally what we do.
Yep. Love it.
Now, TMac, feel free.
Go Pack Go.